Hello friends, and welcome to the Mindful Making video channel. This is a video podcast mostly about knitting. It's about sharing the joy, the grounding and the relaxation that making with yarn and making with your hands gives us. I am Jane. I am originally from Denmark but living in Australia, in Hornsby Heights north of Sydney, and you've landed here in my craft room, and it is the final day of 2022. It is the 31st of December, so I thought I would just sit down and chat to you and wishing you all a happy new year. If you are a new viewer, welcome, and if you are a returning viewer, welcome back. It's so lovely to have you all joining me here, and I just love the community that we can create around our common passion for yarn, needles and making. Before I start, I would like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land that I'm recording from. I am on Darug Ku-ring-gai land, and I pay my respects to elders past, present and emerging. This land was never ceasing, always was and always will be Aboriginal land. So welcome. I hope you've had a wonderful holiday season and Christmas if you celebrate that. I have had a beautiful holiday and celebrated Christmas with my family. And now looking at, as we move into change of year into a new year, it's time for reflecting on the year past and looking ahead into the year to come. You can find me as Mindful Making on Instagram. I post rather frequently there, and also find everything about me, my knitting patterns and designs coming up, and the yarn that I carry in the web shop. You can find that on mindfulmaking.com.au. In the description box below, there is a link to the show notes, which are also published on the website. There you can find links to everything that I talk about in these episodes, and you can also search if there are items you want to know more about, and also if they have been mentioned in several episodes. So everything is gathered under the umbrella of mindfulmaking.com.au. If you are on Ravelry, I'm mindfulmakingAU there too. So I love to hang out with you guys everywhere. I love the community we have created across the world. I love the comments, the sharing, the likes, the thumbs up, which are the likes, and please subscribe and click the little bell so you're notified when a new episode lands on YouTube. I think that was all the admin parts. Let's move into the knitting, and starting traditionally with talking about what I'm wearing. I am wearing the stable linen top, which is designed by Huki Locatelli. I knitted this back in May, and I haven't actually worn it before today, so this is its debut. I love the simplistic look of this top. I love the color and the yarn, which is a blend of a cotton, cashmere and silk, so super delish yarn. I may add a little sort of trim or edging here around the arms, just to give it a bit more structure, because it is slightly flaring, but I can wear it anyway as it is. And if I just look in my knitting journal to give you a bit of the details, so it was finished in May, and for for this top, my gauge was 24 stitches, but the pattern asked for 21 stitches, so I went up a couple of sizes, and this is an XL. Knitted a main needle, a 4mm needle, and using up 124 grams of a fingering weight yarn, so a total of 500 meters of yarn. This was the second version of the stable linen top. The first one I knitted in my my normal size, but of course with that difference in gauge, it turned out too small and was gifted to my sister-in-law for her birthday. So while I am in my knitting journal, where I note down details of the projects that I've been working on, we are now at the end of 2022, and I have summed up the number of projects that I have been working on and finished this year, and how many meters of yarn I've used. I have knitted up 29 finished objects and 23 kilometers of yarn, which is decent. Well, it's pretty good. I am happy with that. So in that mix there are 3 socks, 7 sweaters, 3 shawls, 7 tops or vests, and 9 accessories. And you can see how I have noted it down on this layout in my knitting journal. I will now start my knitting year for 23, and I think there is room enough in this book or in this journal for the next year as well, or at least majority of next year. Yeah, I can highly recommend, just a bit of note taking on your projects. I enjoy the nerdy part of it, of reminding myself what I've been working on, what I've finished, and this about how many meters of yarn I have knitted up. 23 kilometers. Do you do the same? Do you know how many meters you have knitted up during 22? If you do, please put it in the comments below. It will be lovely to see what you've been working on in 2022, and if you are as nerdy as I am in terms of stats and monitoring and stuff like that. Let me know. Since we last spoke, I have finished the Christmas gifts that have been sent up north to my family in Denmark, yes, as Christmas gifts. Here is a little video of where you can see them all laid out. They were hats and fingerless mittens that I've knitted and laid out after being washed and a bit of blocking and then to dry, and then I added on the faux fur pom-poms, and it turned out to these 3 sets that I will insert either here or here. Unfortunately, they haven't arrived up in Denmark yet, or at least I don't know that they have, so, but I was a bit late as well. But it's still January, it's still cold. I hope they will come into good use in the cold winter up there. After having sent that off and having finished the Christmas gifts, I thought I would just knit something for myself. And not that it was sort of an impromptu knit. So I have been working on this top, which is a summer top. It is knitted in coast yarn from Holst. It is a cotton merino blend, a very light fingering weight, so 350 meters per 50 grams, so 700 meters per 100 grams. It is worked in a 3mm needle, so a 2.5 US. The design is called Søndervig. I will write it down below. It is a design by Susie Haumann, and it is from this book called Strik til sommer, so knit for summer. It is available in Danish only, and I will show you the design here. Søndervig. And you can see that I opted for a similar color as in this picture. I hope my jumper or top will block out as beautiful as this. The texture is beautiful, and it looks like a brioche, but it isn't. It is a combination of garter and slip stitches, and I love these vertical lines in this sort of overall simple texture of the fabric. A V-neck and a very simple bottom up construction with shoulder shaping. And I might add, in the pattern there are ribbing, a short ribbing here to finish off the sleeves, but I actually like them as they are, so I might start wearing it as is. There's just one thing that I have to correct, and I guess yesterday when I seamed the side seam, one turned out good, well, the other not so well. I might have been tired when working on the last seam because I turned it inside out. So it is a visible seam at the moment. I will have to unpick that and redo the side seam, weave in the end, wash, block, it's done. I have counted this as a finished object in the 2023 knitting journal and status. The color of the yarn is called Skylight, and I have used 182 grams, so approximately 650 meters of the coast yarn. On the back you will see a slight difference in the color, and around here I had this yarn sitting on the shelf in my stash, and I thought they were the same, but apparently they were not. It isn't the same dye lot, and it may even be two different colorways. Anyway, it's on the back. That is what makes our knitting unique. A finished object, that will be the final finished object of 2022. I have worked the size large, and eventually, sometime maybe through January, hopefully, details of this will also be up on my Ravelry project page. I am a bit behind. So that was what I've been working on and the finished objects. Just before Christmas, I had the pleasure of joining some Danish friends for a camping trip to Crescent Head, which is a 5-kilometer drive north of Sydney. We were there for 4 days between the 19th and 23rd of December, and I will just insert a short little video, one of two, of beautiful beach, sun, water, and beautiful sights. So I hope you will enjoy. Well, I hope you enjoyed that, and maybe in the northern hemisphere you're a bit envious of the warmth, the sun and the beach views, and they will come to you as well. Here in Australia, Christmas is summer Christmas, which is very different from a cold and dark Christmas. We celebrated it here with our own little family of 4, and then a hotline to my son in Copenhagen. I was so lucky to get a few knitting related Christmas gifts that I will share with you. One of them is a new book from the Danish knitwear designer Line Holme Samsø. And her new book is called Heather Hill. This is in Danish. There's something about these hardback books that just gives so much comfort and delight to thumb through the pictures and just, the tactile experience combined with the visual. And I guess online you get the visuals, but you don't get that sort of tactile sensing of the pictures, if you can even say that. I have marked a few, I'm about to say recipes, but patterns in here that I am particularly interested in. The first one is this one called Isla, the Isla sweater. And what I really like about this is sort of the calmer centerpiece, and just having the interest and the cabling happening out here on the sleeves, out here on the sides of the body, double neckline, double ribbing. And beautiful texture as well. Then the other, which is very similar, is this one, though having the cabling center front and center back and a double moss stitch as the main fabric. I haven't decided on colors or anything or yarn, but these are the designs that talk to me sort of immediately. What might actually jump on the needles is a cardigan similar to this one, which is called moulinet cardigan. Very simple, straightforward V-neck cardigan. I find that I need some cardigans in my wardrobe to you can wear them closed or open depending on temperature changes. They're very versatile, therefore, in their wear and their use. And this one in particular, I would like to learn to create this shoulder construction, which Lene Holme Samsø calls European shoulder. Whether it's an English tailor shoulder as well, could be another term for it. I would love to learn to knit that and to experience its wear. I imagine that it fits very well around the shoulder. So that might actually be one of the early projects in 2023. Heather Hill by Lene Holme Samsø. Then one of my beautiful knitting friends gifted me through 3 wonderful skeins of yarn. Here they are. They are linen quill from Pearl Soho. She had these skeins sitting in her stash, and she was so kind to gift them to me, the dear Amina, who lives in the suburb next to me and is in my knitting group and a dear friend. She is called Stitches and Swings on Instagram, so give her a follow if you want to see what she is making. And look at this beautiful light teal green and then mixed with grays, and then you have this fluff of the linen popping out. It is a blend of 50% fine Highland wool, 35% alpaca and 15% linen from Pearl Soho. Maybe this could become a moulinet cardigan, possibly. Haven't decided yet. I love them, so thank you so much, Amina. I love, this about gifting yarn we might have sitting in our stash that maybe we have grown out of love with, or that we haven't found use for yet and doubt whether we will find use, and then we can give it a new life with somebody else. Thank you. Beautiful. During December, I had the pleasure of opening a yarn advent calendar each day. One of them, I had 2, so one of them was from Natural Fiber Arts, where I won a giveaway. It was called Comfort and Joy, and now you see all the beautiful yarn in that advent. Here it is. Look at this. Beautiful purpley, pink, green, yellow, orange tonal colors. And it was a very generous advent calendar because 4 of the days contained a full 100 gram skein of yarn. One of them, this stunningly beautiful deep yellow yarn, and then 20 gram minis sitting here in all green, purple, pinks colors. Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you, Cheryl, for beautiful advent calendar, Natural Fiber Arts. The second calendar I bought from Union Fiber, and you have heard me mention that yarn dye before. New Zealand yarn dyer dyes these beautiful muted, moody, dark colors. and I absolutely loved them. And the advent calendar was not a disappointment either. Here it is. You can see some of the minis, and I will take them out. This advent was a 12 mini skeins calendar, and then 2 main colored, so 2 100 gram skeins in a merino sock base, 4-ply. And let's just pull them out to see if we can create a nice little bouquet of beautiful yarn. Yeah, they are my colors. Yep. Dusty pinks, grays, greens, browns, muted, moody. Yeah, wonderful. And then this main color here, 2 skeins of this, which is a sandy gray base, and then with simple and not overdone, traces of brown, blue, dark green, and there is also a bit of mustardy yellow in here, speckles. Absolutely stunning. So these together hopefully will be knit together into a jumper, hopefully. I am thinking of using these mini skeins on a round yoke and stripes or something up here, and then the main color as the body and sleeves. I know Pia from 50 Fabulous has created a pattern similar to this idea, and it's called Jericho's Rose. I might do a bit sort of more stripes, but let's see what I come up with. So far they are sitting here as decorations. Well, both advent calendars are, because I haven't decided which project they should be used for yet. So now they're just sitting here as beautiful accessories in my craft room. I love it. In terms of the next knitting plans, beyond the moulinet cardigan I showed you before, I actually had planned a Christmas cast on that I didn't cast on for Christmas, but it could be, or it probably will be, my New Year's cast on. You hear I haven't made up my mind totally yet what I will cast on tomorrow morning, possibly tonight even. But what I had planned, I had planned is to cast on this cascade tank top designed by Odd Row, and I have looked at this tank top for some time now, and I really love this detail on the shoulder straps, I call them. I don't know whether that's the right term, but up here, and I'm looking very much forward to start that project. The yarn that I will use is this 100% silk from Knitting for Olive in the colorway Olive that I bought when I was in Denmark in July. So I think this will be a beautiful match between pattern design and yarn. I will keep you posted on how it's going. That actually brings us to the end of the yarny knitting related content of this episode. We're also approaching the end of 2022, so I just want to take this opportunity to thank you all for tuning in to the Mindful Making video channel. I am amazed of the community we can create. I love your comments, love your thumbs up and your likes, and that how we can engage with each other and create this community out of our common passion for yarn and for knitting. So a heartfelt thank you, and I am grateful for you being here. Thank you for 2022 and for the support of Mindful Making, and I'm looking forward to knitting with you again in 2023. Bye bye.